going to be getting our acceleration here now with the 3500. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a GMC Denali 3500 that is a dually. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Schmiller Chevy here in Provo for giving me some time with this Denali. They actually have this one in inventory right now. It is pre-owned, so go check out the inventory link below. Let's get into the video. Under the hood of the 3500, we have the 6.6 liter Duramax that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission, also known as the Allison. Power outputs are 445 horsepower and then 910 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the 3500. Notice that you've got the cab lights there at the top, which I feel like this has the best looking cab lights for a heavy duty. I just think they did a really good job from a design perspective. And then you've got the venting there at the front, full LED headlights with the LED accent light. And then you've got a massive chrome front grille because again, it's the Denali. Parking sensors at the bottom with the chrome tow hooks. And then you have the fog lights there at the very bottom. And other than that, there's your full front view. Now coming around the side here, you've got two 55mm tires wrapped around 17-inch wheels in the front and over for all of the four wheels there in the back. Coming over to the front wheels, I like how they have the GMC there at the front of the chrome cap. And then here's kind of a quick look at what we can see of the front suspension. And the tires on this are actually really nice. So they're nice, just like all-terrain tires. And then you've got the Denali HD badge there with the side steps. Got the Duramax badge there on the sides so you can flex to everyone that you have a diesel. The gigantic trailer mirrors. Got the step there, which helps you access the bed. And then other than that, here's your full side view, which, I mean, for a dually, I think this looks really good. Now let's pop into the rear of the 3500. So first off, payload capacity is 5,197 pounds. And then actually popping in, you've got a full liner here for the whole bed. Notice you've got all your plugins right there. You've got a grab handle as well to help with getting in and out of the bed. And then you do have the LED lights here with the plug. And then this does come with a trick tailgate. So all you have to do is just press the right one and then it'll pop open. And when I mean the right one, I mean the one that's closer to you button wise. And then this does have the whole step system, which helps getting in and out of the bed. And other than that, that's everything for the rear. Now let's go over the back of the trucks. You've got one of the marker lights back there, and you've got the gigantic LED lights, which I think look really good. The bed steps here on the side, which help getting in and out of the bed. And then notice you got the parking sensors. Towing capacity is over 30,000 pounds, which is ridiculous. And that's everything for the rest of the rear. Now let's go over the door panel here in the back. So you've got the nice soft touch leather right here with the wood trim that goes across. And then here are the seats in the back, so full leather, and got some extra storage space behind the seat itself. And then you have more underneath the seat, but let's actually pop in. So first off, those side steps help out quite a bit. And room here is plentiful. I mean, the headroom's massive. You could be really tall and still fit back here. Legroom's great. And then notice you got some cup holders with heated seats, USB, and 12 volts. And then got the armrest that pulls down to be some more cup holders, and that's all for the back. Now let's go to the door panel here in the front. So first off, again, you've got more of that soft touch leather with the wood trim that goes across, and you've got all of the window controls with the mirror controls. And yes, this does have the mirror extension, which definitely a neat feature to have. And then you've got memory seats on top of that. Bose sound system, it says Denali. And then here are the seats at the front, which again say Denali on them. Got the leather all throughout, and then pretty soft bolsters. And then notice you've got your adjustments on the side of the seat with the pedal layout down below, your parking brake, light controls right up here, and then your drive line select, and then your drive mode select. The steering wheel is manually adjustable, and there's one more look before you pop in. Now let's go over the steering wheel here in the Denali. So you've got leather wrapped around the whole steering wheel with the contrasted stitching there in the center portion. And then you've got your voice command controls for the center stack, heated steering wheel button, and then cruise control on the other side. And of course it says Denali. And then you got your stock there for the turn signal / windshield wipers. And then notice you've got the column shifter right here with the plus and minus there for the gear selection. And that's all for the steering wheel area. Now here are the center gauges. So you've got the RPMs on the left side, on the right side you've got the speed, and then you do have that screen which you can scroll through a couple different menus, remember, with that little keypad on the right side of the steering wheel. But the fun part is actually with the modes. So first off, you've got a tow mode, pops open with that little trailer, and then on the other side you've got your normal and then your off-road mode. that's it. You just get those 3 modes that you can go between with the truck, and that's everything for the center stack. Here's the center infotainment system. First off, we're gonna pop it over into reverse. You get a backup camera and a bird's eye view. I love how the bird's eye view actually has the sunroof with the whole depiction of the truck, which I think is pretty cool. But the camera system on this truck is crazy. You get a camera view out of every single angle with the truck. I mean, literally shows you everything on the truck. So I guess suffice to say, if you hit into something with this truck, or if you struggle to park with this truck, then that's just a lame excuse, because the camera system's great. Now, aside from the camera system and Porsche's popping into the viewpoint of our video, you guys can see that response time on the screen is really solid. It does come with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as well. Nicely integrated into the dash. If you're used to Chevy's infotainment systems, then, well, it's the exact same one. We've got a couple of controls there for the radio, and then down below we've got our analog climate controls. This does come with a dual zone climate. Heated and ventilated seats are down there, and then notice you got just the ventilated seat, whereas the heated seats, you can do the whole seat or just the back of the seat. Got your diesel exhaust brake, you've got the lane departure, parking sensors, the tailgate drop down, and then notice you've got the hazard lights, stability control, that's for the outlets. This is to roll down all the windows at once, which I'm not going to do because it's kind of cold today. And then we've got a power outlet, 12 volt, some USBs, trailer brake controls, engine stop start button. And then under my mask, we've got the wireless phone charger with some extra storage, and then we've got some more cup holders right there. Here's the center console. So you got perforated leather at the top, and then more leather here on the side. And then notice that tons of storage space, has some USBs in there. And then you've got the dual glove box set up here in the 3500, which is pretty neat. All the stitching all around with the leather, and well, that's all for that. So let's pop up top so you guys can see this whole setup. So it does come with a regular sunroof and then power sliding windows, just that center control. And then it does come with the camera mirror system, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of, and that's all for the top. Well, now that we've gone over everything here in the interior with this Dually, let's take it out and see how she drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off here on the 3500 GMC Dually. So, looking over the hood, visibility is pretty good, and you guys can probably see the heads-up display at this point, or hopefully you can. There's your visibility through both the mirrors. They are absolutely massive. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear. So from a visibility perspective, it's pretty good, and well, let's set off. We are setting off here in this 3500 Denali, and first off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So from a ride quality perspective, for a Dually, it rides really smooth actually, which is nice. Duallys, obviously, when they're not under a heavy load, definitely are rougher compared to other trucks. But I mean, they've done a really good job with making this truck so it absorbs everything pretty well. If you go from like a half ton into this truck, yes, it is gonna feel rougher. But if you're used to driving heavy duty trucks, this really isn't going to feel all that much different compared to most heavy duty trucks that you're used to driving. So again, they've done a really good job from a ride quality perspective. And then from a noise perspective, I mean, it's actually pretty good. You hear a little bit from the engine, which those are nice sounds. And then in terms of the wind noise and all that, it's definitely pretty minimal from that perspective. Pretty well insulated as well, so it definitely does a good job with that. And you guys can see, I mean, yes, it's a big truck. It's got a long bed, it's really wide, but it's actually relatively easy to drive, relatively easy to maneuver once you do get used to the size of the truck. And so I would say that, again, if you're coming from a smaller truck, or if you have never driven a truck before, yes, this will feel massive. But if you're used to driving trucks, this isn't going to be too hard to handle. In tight parking spaces, yes. So, I mean, I guess I would just be aware of that. But I mean, any truck of this size, and you're going to be kind of in that same circumstance, they're all pretty bad with their turning radius and maneuverability and all that. Well, we are going to be getting our acceleration here now with the 3500. Gosh, this thing is fast. It's crazy how fast these trucks are nowadays. It is absolutely crazy. Tons of torque. I mean, like I've said in a million videos before, once you get over that like 800 pound-feet of torque range, anything is just, I mean, yes, it helps out towing capacity, so it's not necessarily overkill, but from an acceleration standpoint, it's pretty much overkill. Like, it's so quick. 445 horsepower and then 910 pound-feet of torque. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And you put your foot down, and it just moves. And then you think about how big this truck is and how much it weighs, and you're like, this is crazy that a vehicle that's this big and weighs this much moves that quickly. And let's get into summing things up here with the 3500 Denali. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I think it's a really good looking truck. I think this might be my favorite dually on the market, just from an aesthetics perspective. I feel like GM just did a really good job with the looks on this truck. And then in terms of the interior on the truck, I mean, it's just like any other fully loaded Denali, any other fully loaded high country. The materials feel very durable. It just doesn't necessarily have the nicest looking interior, especially compared to Ford and Ram. Those definitely look a lot nicer. So I definitely would take that into account. The tech though on the interior is great. And then in terms of just the usability of everything, I think it's great. The buttons and all that. It's just the seats and then the dash material. I feel like it would be better suited if it was just nicer materials, basically. So overall, I mean, it's a crazy capable truck. It's got a really good payload capacity. It's got a crazy towing capacity. It's fast. And I mean, it's a nice truck to be in. The only thing going against this truck, honestly, is just the seats need to be a little bit softer, a little bit nicer leather, and same with like the whole dash area. If GM fixed that, then they would have a really, really good truck. And I mean, I think they would definitely get some people from Ram and Ford at that point. Now let's get some things up for our video on this GMC 3500 Dually Denali. Lots of names and everything. And again, if you are interested in this, then reach out to the Chevy here in Murray if you want pricing on it, and then also if you want to buy it, because, well, they have one. I'll see all of you in the next video.